dollars. What's something that people overrate or misremember the worst in your opinion? Like Cody being absolutely dominant over Dom. Yeah, that's one of them. Cody Garbrandt being dominant over Dominic Cruz. He was not. He got outstruck every round other than in knockdowns. He literally got outlanded every single round of that fight. He knocked down Cruz in 3 of the rounds, and that's why he won. He did not outclass Cruz. He made him miss a lot, which I get, but it wasn't the dominance that people remember it was. Other than that, though, I'm not sure. Landlord Guru. Australian dollars. Who do you think you'd fangirl the hardest for when interviewing, even if it's just on the inside? Who would make you most nervous? Not that I'd fangirl, but I'd be most nervous for like a McGregor interview, because I think out of everyone I could potentially interview, yes or no, chat, McGregor is probably the most likely to just switch it off and leave. You know what I mean? Like, I think I could really interview any fighter right now and they would sit out the interview. But I'd worry about a McGregor one, because if I pissed him off, I can imagine he's just like, anyway, see you, mate. Yeah, I had your chance and I'm ill. Boring as that would really hurt me. So that would be probably one there. You know what I mean? I could banter with him, but it could also go terribly wrong. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. Dude, I can't go in the sea. Do you understand? I think Australia would be wasted on me. I actually hate the idea of the ocean. I never used to when I was a kid. I used to have no problem with it whatsoever. And when I was a teenager and we would go on holiday and I would go in the ocean or something. I'm never going in the ocean ever again, probably. Because my brain now overthinks. I'm too smart now to go in the ocean. You know? Way too smart. My brain isn't dumb enough to just go in the ocean without extreme ideas of like, there could be a shark, there could be an octopus. Yeah, you know what I mean? Honestly, one thing I'm absolutely creeped out by is octopuses. Not even joking. I hate the idea of them. Hate the idea of them. And I think we should extinct all of them, honestly. I hate octopus. They're disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting creatures. Sorry. They're smart. I get it. I just hate the idea of them. Like, you know what noise I would make if I saw an octopus in a water source with me? I'd probably do that, you know. A shark, I'd be like, oh shit, oh fuck, I need to get out of the water, oh fuck. If I saw an octopus, I'd genuinely be like, and like shit myself. I hate the idea. I don't want him to touch me. I do not want an octopus anywhere near me, ever in life, ever. They're disgusting. Strickland right after running for 50 miles. I still think Strickland, because they're gonna like have a breather for a second and then do it. That's a lame way for Goggins. I think Goggins is so cringe, I'll be honest with you. Like, I really don't get the Goggins hype. Sorry, I really don't. You're unemployed and you run for a living. Good job. You know what I mean? Some people have got to work paycheck for paycheck. What I'm saying. I really don't get the Goggins hype. You run far. Well done. You know? The thing is with Goggins, yeah, is if he was respected in a way that is appropriate for what he's actually doing, I would respect it. But the way people speak about Goggins is like everyone's a badass till Goggins walks in. Like, the dude probably can't fight for shit. You know that? Like, he probably barely can throw a good punch. Soy boy. He looks easily chinnable as well. But people talk about him like he's some fucking monster entering a room, like he's some UFC champ. Like, when he walks into a room, you'd think Pereira walked into a room. You run long distances. Good job. Running is literally a coward's exercise as well. Only cowards run. True Chads don't run. That's how I justify sitting on my ass all day. And that's a good justification for sitting on my ass today as well. Yes, but you're obese because I'm successful and don't need to run. Obese people throughout history are the most successful people because they were successful hunters, they were successful gatherers, and they had survived a long time enough to even gain the weight in the first place. And they could still survive even with the added weight. True Chads of history. Fact. Skinny bitch like Goggins running around back in the day would be a fucking pussy, dude. Little lame ass pussy. And some fat guy'd body him immediately with a hip toss. Oh! And then Matt Brown would lose to Colby, probably get out wrestled in his prime, but his wrestling defense wasn't the best at times. Thank you for the $5. Thank you for the $50, Giuliano Argenti. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Best non-championship fights that should happen by the end of 2024. Volkov versus Garn 2. Good fight. Garn versus Volkov 2. Tabet versus Rosas Jr. I think either one of them against Garbrandt would be fun as well because he's unranked at bantamweight. Ortega versus Aljo. Yeah, that could happen, but it's looking like they're going to do Aljo versus Evloev instead. And Ortega's thinking about moving up to 155. If he stays at 145, I want to see him rebooked against Lopez. I'd prefer that. Also, Topuria is the most overrated fighter in the UFC right now. He's not whatsoever. People are diminishing him massively. Holloway obviously beats him. So does literally any other contender. Yeah, you're just retarded. And you hate Ilya Topuria because he's a based Chad that believes in himself. I swear to God, people are talking like Holloway's about to fight some Ilya Topuria guy that's literally an untrained bum that's going to get into the cage with him. Ilya Topuria right now is he's making his contenders dismiss him and think little of him, and then he's going to absolutely destroy them when he gets in the cage because they're going to write him off. If you don't see what Ilya's pulling right now, you're dumber than I think. You know Ilya wants a Holloway fight. That's a huge fight for Ilya. He knows he's got time on his side, and he's being so annoying that they're going to dismiss him, and then he's the most dangerous boxer that we've maybe had in recent UFC history. And he's shorter than Holloway, which is always a nightmare for Holloway. He never does good against short opponents. I think Ilya beats Holloway. I think he does. I think he beats him. Thank you for the $5. Do you have any other investments? No. Good call on the real estate. Yeah, it's a smart one. Everyone's always going to need a house. Best decision I ever made was buying a cheap-ass house before Trav. I don't know what my next big purchase is going to be. Probably a car. But I don't drive. But maybe if I get a car, I'll drive. And then I'll end up doing more things accidentally. Maybe that's how it will work. But I'm going to get a car at some point. I don't know what car to get. What supercar shall I get, chat? I'm thinking 100K budget. So I can crash it and ruin my life. What are we thinking? I might even end up leasing a car, to be honest with you, instead. Might be a smarter move, to be honest with you. You don't know how to drive? No, I don't, but I'll learn. I just didn't. I knew I wasn't going to have a car when I was younger because I was too poor. So I just said to myself, well, I could have got a shit, dog shit car, but I didn't want a shit, dog shit car. So I just sort of said to myself, I'll wait to learn how to drive until I'm going to drive, because there's no point learning how to drive at 18 and then you don't end up driving until you're 25 and then all of a sudden you fucking forget. You know? Porsche, I'm too big for a Porsche. G-Wagon, gay. I don't want to drive a G-Wagon. G-Wagon up. All that boy. I'm getting out. Dum, dum, dum. Thank you for the $7 Canadian. Ravin de Gossal. Members. How about you just shut the fuck up and let the public viewers have a bit of a stream as well? You know what I mean? You fucking members, man. Honestly, you're like Dagestanis. How fucking entitled you are. How about the public stream get some time to talk to Guru? Soon as all the fucking donos dry up and these guys start talking about members streams. Like, Jesus Christ. Thank you for the $10. Appreciate the $10. Say for Capadia. I'm going to do the members now, but not yet. Give me a bit more. Because normally the first hour and a half is just reading donos. So now we can have less donos now and again and actually read some chat sometimes. I've been meaning to tell you this for a few weeks. Thank you for the $10, dude. Now, as you're my favorite YouTuber, I'm getting worried that a fighter is going to try and come after, especially since you've been going at Jones so much. To be honest with you, I really don't care. Like, if I die at the hands of a UFC fighter going after me, it'll be a glorious death and I'll just accept it. Like, I really don't give a fuck, dude. Like, honestly. So, yeah. Thank you for the $10. I really don't care. Thank you for the two. If they're going to go after me, but not Jones, it says a lot about their morality as a person. Go after someone who exposed a rather than. They're all pussies, dude. They would all speak their mind about Jones if they knew they couldn't run into him at the apex. Fact. Every fighter would yap shit about Jones the way I yap shit about Jones if there wasn't a chance they might run into him at the apex. Fact. They're all pussies. Because all of them act like they're against PEDs, and all of them must be against Eaton, but they never bring it up about Jones. No one's ever got shit to say about him because they know they might run into him at the apex or at a UFC event sometime. It's retarded. They're pussies. Thank you for the $2. UK had guns and land like Canada, right? You don't. UK has guns and land like Canada, right? You don't. You know what? Yeah, it's not even about that because UK is really soy, but regardless of how after generation upon generation, the UK people have been weakened, we still kill it in combat sports. And I'm going to say this right now, GSP and fucking no one else ever. First world country, futuristic gyms, cryotherapy chambers at the end of your fucking workout stations, and you lot can't produce shit but GSP. Canada can't call anyone soy. All your fighters get fucking torched. Every fight. Stop yapping shit, Canada. You pussies. Fact. Artur Beterbiev, you imported him from Dagestan. Fact. I'm not going to claim Makayev. What about Mallet? The guy that lost to Neil Magny? That's insane. But yeah, you beat Adam Fugit, to be fair. Don't yap, Canada, okay? You lot didn't even get independence. You literally sat there like your little dicks, strumming away while the US fought for their independence. And then you said, nah, we'd rather stay. I guess we could be independent, but no, we'd rather stay in the Commonwealth. Some fake independent bullshit. At least the US stood on business. You cucks. Watching real men fight for their rights. Right next to him as well. So soy. Did Poirier do better than Volk against Islam? Paul Willotts, if Tom Aspinall beats Blades, he had the perfect way to get to Jones. Call out Poatan and get on the same card as Stipe versus Jones at MSG. True. But first, he has to beat Blades. And hopefully it happens. And then we can move on with all of these plans that we have. But I think, chat, yes or no, MSG's in November. Wouldn't this be the most badass move ever? If Aspinall beats Blades and then gets another fight before Jones defends his belt. I think. Imagine he gets another fight in. Just against Garn or even Pereira moving up. Like on an October pay-per-view card or some shit. Just to really rub it in that Jones ain't doing shit at all. I think that'd be good. Chad move. The Aspinall glazing is wild. No, it's not, because I'll say this right now. He's the most dominant fighting force in the history of the UFC, and it's a fact. So we'll see if he keeps it going. But as of right now, he's on track to be the most dominant fighting force in UFC history. And that's a fact. And you can't deny that statement. You can't name another fighter more dominant. You can't. Ngannou, the guy that lost a fucking decision to Derek Lewis, that's crazy. Hamzat, the guy who went to a split decision with Gilbert Burns. Crazy. Pavlovich was essentially Aspinall's Gilbert Burns. He took it on a week's notice and slumped him in a minute. Khabib, a guy that lost to Gleason Tebow, went to decisions throughout most of his career. It's insane. Aspinall has had an average fight time of 1 minute and 10 seconds. Never even seen a decision in his entire career. Barely even takes shots. John Jones literally lost fights. Other than a knee injury, Aspinall has faced zero adversity in fights where his knee hasn't spontaneously combusted. It's the most dominant fighter in UFC history. Pereira could have got a decision against him against Bruno Silva. Should have won, but, you know, it was a close fight. It's not glazing. You can't name a more dominant fighter for the amount of fights he's had. You can't name a more dominant fighter in UFC history on the come up. There's never been one. C-Rod, close decisions throughout his career. No. Bruno clearly lost. I know, but it was 2-1. What, like it was a dominant victory from Alex Pereira? I was worried in that fight. Bo Nickel, Aspinall's never had a performance as bad as his Cody Brandage one. You can't even think to compare the same level of opponents either. Aspinall did what Bo Nickel did to Brandage to Volkov more impressively in Volkov's top 5. And since losing to Aspinall, has the longest winning streak in UFC heavyweight division right now. Arlovsky, he landed 3 punches on Aspinall. Other than that, Aspinall beat the shit out of him for the first 3 minutes of the first round and then submitted him immediately in the second round. I don't know why people talk about that like it's a fraud check. He got hit with 3 punches. Ooh. And that's how dominant Tom is. See if he can keep it going. You're picking King. What's your top question? And you're going to ask Paddy. I don't know if I'm picking him yet. I don't know. It's a tricky fight for Paddy. I'm going to ask him a lot of questions. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. This is why I've delayed it by a few days so I can actually think of some questions that would be good because I'm not really an interviewer. You know what I'm saying? I've missed a lot of donos. Okay, stop trying to get me in trouble, grey shirt, clip farming, you pussy.